1 Yud Gimel Amud Beis 13b. Maybe about 10, 15 lines from the bottom. I think the second word is Tana. I have a period. So Tana, the Brisa says, Smicha v'smicha zekenim b'shlosha. That one does smicha and smicha zekenim b'shlosha. It says the Gemara, my smicha, umay smicha zekenim. What does smicha mean and what does smicha zekenim mean? Rabbi Yochanan mismach sabe, to agree, from the word haskama, to agree to call somebody Rebbe. Amar le'Abai le'Rav Yosef mismach sabe b'shlosha. Abai told Rav Yosef that he was called Rebbe with three people. That you need three people. You need three people to call somebody Rebbe, to give them permission to answer questions in halacha. So now, how do you know that you need three people? When you want to give a smicha to somebody to call them Rebbe, how do you know it's three people? If you'll tell me because of the verse by Moshe, by Moshe to Yeshua, Moshe placed his hands upon Yeshua, so that's only one person. You don't need three people, even one person. Maybe you'll say, like we're going to say later, Moshe was so great. He was in place of 71 judges. So then, you should need 71 to give smicha. How do you know three? Says the Gemara, you're right, Kasha. Ends off, we're not sure. Not sure why you need three, but we need three. Okay. Amar le Rav Acha, Brei de Rava le Rav Ashi. Rav Acha, the son of Rava, he told Rav Ashi. So he said, Biyada mamish samchinale. He said, you have to really put your hands on a person. Amar le samchinale b'shma. Kari le Rebbe, biyahabi le Rishusa le meidan dinei knasos. No, you don't have to put your hand on the person, but you have to call him Rebbe and give him permission to judge cases, specifically dinei knasos. We know there's certain cases of penalties, like when you have to pay 4 and 5 for sheep you steal in your shech, or for stealing you have to pay double. Those set prices in the Torah that you have to pay for doing certain things are called dinei knasos. There we need three people who have smicha. Yeah. Okay. So now, says the Gemara, "V'chad lo samech." Is that really true that one person, v'chad lo samech, one person can't give smicha? You need three people to give smicha. That's a very, very interesting story. The Amar of Yehuda, Amarav Biram. In general, we have to remember this person. Zachar oso ha'ish lato. Remember this person, Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava Shema. You have to remember this person whose name was Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava. She'il malehu. If not for him, nishtachachu dinei knasos miYisrael. We would forget about the laws of penalties in the Jewish people. Says the Gemara, nishtachachu. What do you mean you're going to forget about them? If you forget, so just nigar sinhu, just learn about them. Allah, what it means is Batra dinei knasos. We would totally nullify judging cases of penalties. Yisrael, why? Because we need people to have smicha to judge those cases. And we're going to see in a second, he saved the day by risking his life to give smicha to people. Shepam achas gazer malchus harishah gzeira Yisrael. One time there was a bad kingdom, I think it was Rome, that decreed upon the Jewish people, shekol hasomech, anybody who gives smicha will be killed. The kol hanismach yahareg, anybody who receives smicha will be killed. The ir shesomchin ba, and any city which gives out smicha will be destroyed. The tchumin shesomchin ba ya'akru. I think this is referring to the tchum of Shabbos. Make certain boundaries where you can and cannot go on Shabbos. If you make those in your city, so then they'll be uprooted. So Ma asa Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava. He went halach v'yashavlo ben shnei harim gedolim. He went and he sat between two great mountains, ubein shtei ha'eros, and between two cities billows, ubein shtei tchumei Shabbos, between two of the tchumei Shabbos, the boundaries of Shabbos. Ben Usha l'Shafarim, sounds like between the city of Usha and Shafarim. And what did he do there? V'samach sham chamisha zakenim. He himself gave smicha to 5 students. Ve'elu hein Reb Meir, Reb Yehuda, Reb Shimon, Reb Yossi, Reb Elazar ben Shmuel. These 5 students received smicha from Rabbi Dovid ben Bava. Okay. Rav Avi Mosif, Rav Nechemia. Rav Avi says even Rav Nechemia was there. Sounds like a 6th student. So now, once the enemy saw what he was doing, so he told them, Amr lahen, Banai Rotsu. So he said, my children, run away. Amrulo, Rebbe, Mate Alecha, what's going to be with you? Amr lahen, Harini Muta Lefnehem Ke'evan She'ein Lo Hofchem. I'm going to be here, lying in front of them, like a stone that has no one to roll it over. Basically saying, I'm not moving, and you guys should run away. I'm not sure why he didn't run away. I understand why he didn't run away with them, because maybe then if they catch him, they'll catch all of them. But I'm not sure why he couldn't run away also. I don't know. Amru lo. So Amru, they say, lo zazu misham, he didn't move from there. Ad shenatzubo shalosh meos lunvios, till 300 arrows went through him. Shal barzel, the aso kikivra, and his body was made like a sieve, meaning just the hole goes right through. So that's the story of Rabbi Dovid ben Bava. Now, how did one person give smicha to these 5 or 6 students? Our mission says you need 3. So we answer. Rabbi Dovid ben Bava achrini habu b'hadei. There were others with him. We don't count them. Mishum kvodo de Rabbi Dovid ben Bava. When the story is told over, we're giving honor to Rabbi Dovid ben Bava. So we don't mention the other people that were there. I guess they did not risk their life like he did. That sounds like we give him the honor because he was the one that risked his life. I guess they also ran away. Yeah, I'm just not clear why he didn't run away also, but okay. So now, says the Gemara, we just mentioned that Rav Meir got smicha from Rabbi Dovid ben Bava. Rav Meir, Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava samchei. Amar Rabbi Bar Chana, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Kol Amar Rav Meir lo samcho Rabbi Akiva. Anybody who says that Rav Meir didn't get smicha from Rabbi Akiva is making a mistake. Rav Meir was from those 5 students that Rabbi Akiva, when he lost 24,000, he started the world again with 5 students. Rav Meir is one of those 5. So how can you tell me that he gave him smicha? It was Rabbi Akiva gave him smicha. So we say like this: Samche Rabbi Akiva, below kiblu. Rabbi Akiva gave him smicha, but they weren't makabel. Sounds like he was very young. Samche Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava v'kiblu. It sounds like Rabbi Akiva was very young when he gave Rav Meir smicha, and therefore they weren't makabel. They didn't accept it. Now, I mean, like, how young could he be? If he started at 40 years old, so it's interesting. Like, at what point was he too young? What does that mean? I'm not sure. But, okay, so now I'm Rabbi Shuvin. Excuse me. Okay. Amar Rabbi Shuvin Levi ein smicha b'chutz la'aretz. Says Rabbi Shuvin Levi, we don't give out smicha in outside of Israel, in chutz la'aretz. Says the Gemara, what does that mean? My ain't smicha. What do you mean there's no smicha in chutz la'aretz? We don't judge cases of penalties. Klal b'chutz la'aretz. How could that be? V'hatanan Sanhedrin yoheges ben v'aretz ben chutz la'aretz. The Mishnah teaches us that in Makos that the Sanhedrin even in chutz la'aretz, and it judges those cases. Ela de lo samchinan b'chutz la'aretz. We don't give out smicha in chutz la'aretz. That's all it means, that we don't give out smicha in chutz la'aretz. Okay, so now pshita, it's obvious to us. Somchin b'chutz la'aretz, you can give smicha. Somchin, that people give out smicha b'chutz la'aretz, v'nismachin ba'aretz, and you find people that got smicha in Eretz Yisrael. Yeah, it sounds like for sure people in Bavel can give permission to somebody in Eretz Yisrael to judge penalty cases. So that we could do. So ha'amrin and delo, it sounds like if he was in Bavel, we wouldn't give him smicha. But if he was in Eretz Yisrael, we can give him smicha. Ela somchin ba'aretz, v'nismachin b'chutz la'aretz. That's what we're asking. If can we give somebody, if you're in Eretz Yisrael and someone else is in Bavel, can you give them permission to judge cases of penalties? So what do we say over there? So if the one said the guy's standing in Eretz Yisrael, and the nismach, the one who's getting smicha, who's receiving smicha, is in Bavel, and he's not next to him. So do we need the guy to be next to him and receive smicha from him in Eretz Yisrael? Or can he even give him smicha if he is standing in Bavel? So let's see. Tashma, Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yochanan is very perturbed, very bothered by. It pained him. That Rav Shimon bar Abba wasn't near him. He wanted to give him smicha, but he wasn't near him. Rav Shimon ben Zirud, Rav Shimon ben Zirud, and one guy that was with him, Uman Rav Yonasan ben Achmoi, Amrila Rav Yonasan ben. Some say it was Rav Yochanan ben Achmoi, the Chad Imei, and someone that was with him, Uman Rav Shimon ben Zirud, Chad the Habi Gabayu, Samchuhu, the Chad Habi Gabayu lo Samchuhu. The guy that was next to him, he gave him smicha. The guy that was farther from him, that was not near him, that he did not give him smicha. Rabbi Chanina, Rabbi Oshia, Habi Kamishtakid, Rabbi Yochanan Mismachinu. Rabbi Chanina and Rabbi Oshia, Rabbi Yochanan wanted to give him smicha. However, lo Habi Mistai Milsa, he wasn't able to. They weren't there. So Habi Kamitztar too. He was very bothered by this. So Amrulay Lo Nitztar Amar said, "Why? Don't be so bothered by this. Why not?" He said. So first of all, you see already 4 or 5 cases where if the guy wasn't next to them, so then he was not able to receive smicha. Now we're saying that these 2 students couldn't get smicha from Rabbi Yochanan, but they told Rabbi Yochanan, "Don't be upset about it." Why? The anon made the base Eli kasina. Interesting. Eli, we know, was the Kohen Gadol in the beginning of Sefer Shmuel, and his children did a variety of averas, and for that they got punished. Now the reason, one of the punishments was that they weren't able to get smicha. Interesting punishment. So the Amar of Shmuel bar Nachman, Amar of Yonasan, minayin she'ein nismachin lebeis Eli. How do I know that the base Eli, the people that come from the house of Eli, don't get smicha? Shinamar, as the pasuk says, lo yezakin bebeisecha. Kol yamin. There shouldn't be a zakin. So what does zakin mean? There shouldn't be a zakin in your house throughout all the days. So what does zakin mean? Mai zakin. So simply you'll say mai zakin mamish. It just means a regular older person, meaning you should not, you'll be punished by not having somebody of old age, as one of your descendants. It already says anybody from your house, anashim, are going to die. It sounds like anybody who reaches 18, it's a really big punishment. You want anybody past 18 years old in your house. Now, let's say you'll have somebody who's a chacham, a Talmud chacham. Sounds like he'll live longer. He won't be punishment. So Rashi tells us that there's 2 people that will come from the descendants of Eli that could survive this curse of not making it past 18. People who learn Torah and do chesed. Because the Gemara Shana says that even a korban, a zevach or a mincha, is not going to atone for you. But what will atone for you is Torah and chesed. So let's say you have somebody who is involved in one of those things. I don't know if you need both or one or the other, I'm not sure. But even if they make it past 18 because they're involved in Torah and they're involved in Chesed, so that's the verse that says a zakin won't be found in your house. What's a zakin? Ela smicha. It's referring to someone who got smicha, meaning your zakin always refers to someone who's wise. You're wise enough to get smicha, and you won't get it. So that's what I told Rabbi Yochanan. Even though you can't find these students, whatever, they're not near you, but don't be so worried about it. They're from base Eli, and they can't get smicha anyways. Okay. Rabbi Zera have a mitmar. Very interesting. More about becoming a rabbi. Rabbi Zera would hide. He didn't want to be seen. He would hide. Have a mitmar lemismachim. He would hide from getting smicha. He wanted to avoid the rabbinate as much as possible. The Amar Rabbi Elazar, why did he do this? Because Rabbi Elazar tells us, Olam have a kabil. You should always be, kabil is like more afel, in the dark, meaning be hidden. Vikayim, and you will live. Meaning, the farther away you stay from a leadership position, so the better you'll be. Kevan Deshama, but then what happened, once you heard the Amr, the same person, interestingly enough, Rabbi Elazar says, Ein Adam somebody who gets to a position of prominence is forgiven for all their sins. So then, then he came to show himself. He came to reveal himself, so to speak, and he wanted to get smicha now. Once he found out that benefit of Beirah's being, being wiped away, so then he wanted to. It's almost like a convert. A convert is also like a new person, or a person who gets married is also like a new person. I guess a position of prominence is like you're like a new person, so to speak, and therefore your sins get wiped away. Okay. Ki samchu Rabbi Zera, when they gave smicha to Rabbi Zera, they would sing the following song that's usually sung to brides. Sharulei hachi. Lo kechal, v'loi sarak, v'loi pirchos. These are three kinds of makeup. Kachal is for your eyes, sarak is for the face, and pirchos is for your hair. And usually the song sung like for bride, that they want to make her beautiful to her husband. So they said, you don't have this, you don't have that, you don't have all this makeup, but what you have is v'yalas chein. You have a tremendous amount of grace. It sounds like his acts of chesed and his Torah produced a level of grace on his face. So it sounds like you're more beautiful, than all this makeup. Ki samchud Rabbi Amil, Rabbi Asi, Sharulo hu hachi. They would sing the following song: Kol min samchu lana. Anybody who got smicha, lo tismachu. So samchu lana, lo tismachu lana. Baruch Hashem, basically, that they didn't give a guy smicha who's from the following not good groups of people. Lo mesarmitin. He's not from the sarmitin. Sarmitin are people that don't give reasons for their halachas. Velo misarmisin, and he's not from the sarmisin, who are, I think they pervert the Torah. The Amrila, and some say lo mechamisin, not from the chamisin, that refuse to reveal the reasons for the Torah. Velo miturmisin, and not from the turmisin. Rashi says that he doesn't know what turmisin is. Others say that it's a kind of bean, which is a little bit sour. So when someone gets smicha, they'd say, Baruch Hashem, you're not from these groups of people, and you don't pervert the Torah, and you do explain things, and you're not bitter. Rabbi Abo Mesifta. So it's interesting. Rabbi Abo sounds like he was very close to the Caesar. They had a very close relationship, and it sounds like they worked together almost to make laws for the nation. So Rabbi Abahu, when he came back from yeshiva, the Beikesa to the house of the Caesar, Nafki Matrunisa de Beikesa, the Matrunisa, some kind of a young lady, a maiden from the house of the Caesar, she would come out to greet him with a song. Umesharian lay, she would sing, Rama de Abe Medabarna de Umse, Butina de Nahura, Brich Maischal L'Sholim. So she would sing him this song about our leader has come, and he's a great light, and blessed are you that you've arrived. So she would go out and greet him with such honor when he came back from yeshiva. Okay, now we know there's something called an egla rufa. Egla rufa is when a corpse is found between two cities. We don't know exactly like how that happened. We have a whole procedure called egla rufa. Our Mishnah told us that when you have to evaluate what's the closest city, so that is going to be two opinions. You need 3 people, or you do it with 5 people. Rabbi Shimon said 3, Rabbi Huda said 5. So now let's learn about this. Kana Rabbanim learns in the Brisa the following: V'yatzu zekenecha v'shavtecha zekenecha shnayim shavtecha shnayim v'im be'ezdin shakol masiv le'en odecha. So the Brisa says zekenecha is plural, your elders, shavtecha, your judges, is plural. That gets you 2 plus 2 is 4, and you can't have an even bezdin. That will get you 1 more, and that's going to be 5. Harekan chamisha divrei Rabbi Yehuda. That's Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Shimon Omer zekenecha shnayim v'im bezdin shakol masiv le'en odecha. Rabbi Shimon says, no, he only learns the word zikenecha to mean 2. You can't have 2, you need to add 1 more, you have 3. The word b'shavtecha he doesn't use. Okay. Rabbi Shimon hay shavtecha mai avitle. What does he do with the word shavtecha? Hahumi bayile lemiyuchadin shebishavtecha. He needs that to teach you that the people, the judges that are coming, have to be from the great court of 71. Has to be 3 out of the 71. That's you need the word shavtecha for. Okay. Rabbi Huda. How does he know that? He says the word. It could just say zikne. What's zikenecha? Your elders. He does say from the elders. What's your elders? He learns from there. It has to be from the elders from the great court of 71. Nafka. Rabbi Shimon. How does he understand why the Torah doesn't say zikne? It says zikenecha. Rabbi Shimon im zikne havamina zikne hashok. It said zikne. You think 3 random old guys from the 3 smart guys from the shuk? Any three judges. Kasarachman is zikenecha, but it has to be not any 3 judges, but 3 judges from the high court. The cause of zikenecha, and if it said zikenecha havamina Sanhedrin kana, you would have thought it could even be from the 23 judges. Kasarachmana v'sheiftecha. To teach you memiyuchadim sheb'sheiftecha. It should just teach you that they should be from the 71. That's all Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Yehuda, Gamar, Zikni, and he learns the Gzeir Shava, Zikni, Mi, V'samchu Zikni Ha'eda, by the korban that the Sanhedrin brings, called the Par Helam Damar. It says the word Zikni Ha'eda there. So it says, Mi, V'samchu Zikni Ha'eda Esidei, Amala Halam Yuchadim Sheb'eda Afkan, Yuchadim Sheb'Zikenecha. So Rabbi Yehuda says that just like there you need it from the 71, so too here you also need from the 71. So now, if you're learning out from over there by the korban that the Sanhedrin brings, so why don't you learn from there that you need? Why don't you learn from there that you need also? 1 second. Just learn that you need 5 people from there too. Meaning, why are you learning Zikenecha and Shavtecha in our parsha? Once you learn from there that they have to be from the special high court, we'll just learn everything from there. And therefore, you have these words that are now open for interpretation by us. On that we say, so it says the Gemara, you're right. Ella vav b'shavtecha le minyana. Really, he doesn't learn the Gzeir Shava. And Vishovtecha, you need to teach you that they have to be from the 71. And the reason that you know that there's going to be 5 is the extra vav, vishav techo. From there he learns the extra number, but you're right, he does not learn the Gzeir Shava. Rabbi Shimon holds only 3 people, so vav lo darish. He doesn't darshan the vav. Okay. Elamiyata, this is true. V'yatzu shnayim u'madu shnayim Rabbi Yehuda. If you continue reading the verses in that parsha of Egla Rufa, what does it say? And they went out and they measured. They is V'yatzu is 2. They went out. U'madu is 2 more. So what's going to happen now? It's going to be 2 more for Rabbi Yehuda. You're going to get 9. Shana Rabbi Yehuda Rei Tisha. And Rabbi Shimon and Shiva add 2 more to Rabbi Shimon, and you'll get 7. So why is there a machlokas of 5 and 3? It should really be 7 and 9. On that we say, no. We need these words to teach you the following. Hahumi ba'ilei lecheretani. For the following brisa. The Yatsu teach us that the elders themselves, have to go out and measure. They can't send a messenger. The Yatsu hein below shlucha. Okay. Umadadu what? And they should measure. She'afilu nimsa. Turning the page. Ba'alil le'ir. Sarich lasot b'medida. Even if you find the body and it seems to be close to a certain city, and everyone assumes it's from that city, you still have to do a measurement. You still have to do a measurement. You can't rely on that. The fact that people are saying things, it's nearby. You have to measure and find out yourself. And you can't rely on other people. Okay. So now, Masnisin delo kihayitan. It sounds like our Mishnah that requires 3 or 5 judges to measure is not like the opinion of Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov. Why? The Tanya of Elazar ben Yaakov Omer, the Yasu, Zikeinecha v'Shoitecha. So how does he understand the verses? Zikeinecha zu Sanhedrin. Sounds like the entire Sanhedrin goes out, all 71. V'Shoitecha, who else goes? Zemelech v'Kohen Gadol. And the judges are referring to the king and the Kohen Gadol. How do I know that judges and that the word judges can refer to a king and a Kohen Gadol? Melech b'mishpat yan art, a king and his judgment will hold up the earth. Kohen Gadol d'chsiv v'basal kohanim ha'levim ve'el ha'shofet. You should come to the kohanim and levim ve'el ha'shofet. That's referring to the Kohen Gadol. So therefore, the word shoftecha can refer to the king and the Kohen Gadol. So according to Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov, it's a very serious thing. You have 71 judges going out, and the king, and the Kohen Gadol. So now, Ibailo, Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov, Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov, what he said, does he argue on our mission in one area or in 2 areas? Bechada polig or betarta polig. So meaning, b'melech v'kohen gadol polig, aval b'Sanhedrin. When it comes to Sanhedrin, ikra Yehuda, ikra Shimon. The whole, when it says Sanhedrin, he just means it'll be 3 or 5, and he only argues for the requirement for a king or a Kohen Gadol. Therefore, he'll only be arguing in one area. Odilma b'Sanhedrin nami polik damer kula Sanhedrin b'inam. He needs all 71. Omer Rav Yosef Tashma. Let's learn from the following brisa. So now, Matzana Beis Pagi. Beis Pagi was an area right within the walls of Jerusalem, and they found basically a Zaken Mamre, someone who the whole Sanhedrin issued a law, a decree, and he rebelled against them. He's called a Zaken Mamre, and he gets a death penalty. So now, Matzana Beis Pagi. So there was basically a whole interaction between the Zaken Mamre and the Sanhedrin right inside the walls of Yerushalayim. They issued forth a decree, the Himra Aleihim, and he rebelled. So now, maybe you would think Yachol Tehe Hamaraso Hamra, he rebelled against the Sanhedrin, and therefore we're going to kill him. Talmud Lomer, no. The Kamta ve'alisa el hamakom. milamed shahamakum goring. So the rule is he has to go up. He has to go up to the Sanhedrin. They usually sit by the Lishkas Hagazis, next by in the base of Mikdash. He has to go up there, and only when he rebels, when he's there, does he have the halacha of a zaken mamre. It's very interesting. You would think that a zaken mamre, a rebellious person, is only someone who just, as long as he rebels, that'll be the same halacha. But apparently, the place where he rebelled is also very important. That's interesting. So now, how many of the Sanhedrin were there? So let's see, the Nafakama. So maybe you'll say Ilema Miktsasam. Maybe only some of them were there. Dilma Hanach Dika Gavai, Kaim and Kivase. And meaning maybe some of them came out and some of them stayed back. So one second. So Elab Shita, it's obvious, the Nafak Kulu. It's obvious that all of the Sanhedrin went out. Why is it obvious that all the Sanhedrin went out? One second, because one second. One second. Yeah, it's obvious to the Gemara that you need the ruling of all 71 judges of the great court of the Sanhedrin Agdola to have a zaken mamre, that when he rebels, it's considered zaken mamre. So if only a few of them came out here, and the rest of the Sanhedrin, so Ilema Miktsasan, just come back for a line. Let's say you have part of the Sanhedrin is out here by the base Pagi talking to Zaken Mamre, and they issue forth a halachic ruling. And their colleagues back in the Lishkas Hagazis agree with them. But it's obvious to the Gemara that you need to have all 71 issue the ruling and have him rebel against all 71, then he gets the status of a Zaken Mamre. So if only some of them went out and the rest of them stayed back, there's no need for the Brisa to tell us that the reason why he's not a Zaken Mamre is because he didn't go up to where they're sitting. The reason why he's not Zaken Mamre is because he only rebelled against a number of them, not against all of them. And yet in the Brisa, it's clear that the only reason why he's not a Zaken Mamre is because he didn't rebel against all 71. It's because he didn't go up there. Sounds like that all 71 were here. They issued a ruling. He rebelled against them. But because he didn't do it up there where they usually sit, therefore he's not considered a Zaken Mamre. So, Elab Shita did not Kulhu. It's obvious that all 71 went out. So now the Gemara is asking, why? What was the necessity for all 71 to all travel outside of their courthouse together? So Ilema, they just Lidvarishos, there were certain matters that they had to go attend to. Says the Gemara, Mimatzi Nafki, who says you're allowed to go out for those matters? The Haksiv, a very cryptic verse, which is very metaphorical, and it's going to be explained, I believe, later on in the Masechta. Yeah, Daf Lamed Zayin. The pasuk says in Shir Shirim, Sharech Agan Asar Al Yetzer Hamazik Bitnech Arei Maschitim Suga Bashoshanim. So literally the verse is talking about the Jewish people, and the Gemara on Daf Lamed Zayin interprets the verse that Sharech sounds like it's like the center part of the body. So too the Sanhedrin is the center part of the Jewish people. They sit in the center of the world, in the base of Mikdash. And Agan Hasar is some kind of half moon vessel, because Sanhedrin sits in like a semicircle. Al yexer hamazik. Mazik is to dilute. So you shouldn't be lacking dilution, which means that just like when you dilute wine, at least back then it was very, very strong. You put 2/3 of water and 1/3 of wine. So too, you shouldn't be lacking any dilution, meaning that you should never have less than 1/3 of the Sanhedrin. You should always have at least 1/3 of the 71 sitting up there by the Lishkas Augustus at once. You should never have less than that. Yeah. So basically, you can never have less than 1/3 of the Sanhedrin leave their post. So how come all 71 were traveling out? Elipshita must be Lidvar Mitzvah, for a Dvar Mitzvah. Hechidami. What Dvar Mitzvah are we talking about? Says the Gemara, Lav lemedidas egla, is it not to measure the corpse to the nearest town? You need all 71. And if that's true, that would be the opinion of Rabbi Dovid ben Yaakov. The Amar Kule Sanhedrin Ba'inan, that you need the whole Sanhedrin. And therefore, he'd be arguing in two areas on our Mishnah, and not only in one area. Amar Le'abaye, not so fast. It's not a proof. Why? There's another Dvar Mitzvah they can go to. Amar Le'abaye, lo, Kigon Sheyatzu Lahosif Al Ir V'Al Hazaros. If you want to add on to Yerushalayim and make other parts holy also, for different halachas, like for eating kachim and things like that, that also requires 71. Kidditman, as our Mishnah states, Eino Sifan Al Ir V'Al Hazaros, you can't add to the cities or to the courtyards in the Beis Hamikdash. And that's why there were 71. Kanya Kavasa de Rav Yosef, Matzan Abeis Pagi. We're going to bring a brisa now that supports Rav Yosef, who said that there were 71 there who were actually measuring Egla Rufa. They're measuring the corpse to the nearest city. So the brisa says the following: Matzan Abeis Pagi Azaken Mamre found. He found 71 judges, it sounds like, in the inner walls of Yerushalayim and Beis Pagi, the Himra Alehem, and he rebelled against them. Kigon Shiyatsu. So the Brisa says, why were they there? They went out Lemedidas Egla to go measure the city from the corpse. Ula Hosif Al Ir Al Hazaros, and they also added on to the city and onto the courtyard. Now, same as before, Yaakov Shedeham Rasa Hamra. Maybe the Zaken Mamre's rebellion should be considered a good rebellion, because he rebelled against all 71. Talmud Lomar become to Bali. So no, the verse tells us he has to go up. Go up to the place, go up to Lishkas Augustus, and only there can he rebel and be considered Zaken Mamre. Melamed Shehamakum Gorim, to teach you the place itself is a cause for making someone a Zaken Mamre. Okay, continuing. Neta Revoy Umaiser Sheni. So now, the fruit of the fourth year, and the Meiser Sheni on years 1, 2, 4, and 5, if to bring up to Yerushalayim, they have the same halachas. It's learned out, I think, in Kiddushin, Kodesh, and the halachas are learned out from each other. So our Mishnah told us that sometimes it's not known. Sounds like how many fruits maybe you had, how much they're worth, and you have to now evaluate it to put it onto the coins, and then bring the coins up to Yerushalayim, buy sacrifices there, and then you have to eat them in Jerusalem. So let's see more about this. Tana Rabbanan, Ezu Meiser Sheni Shein Dam Yadu, and what's the case of Meiser Sheni, where its value is unknown? So, Peiros Shehir Kivu, fruits that went bad, the Yain Shehikrim, and wine that went bad, Ma'os Shehechlidu, or money that got wiped out, it got rubbed off. So those are the three cases where you need 3 people to come and evaluate to see how much it's worth. Taner Rabbanan, Meiser Sheni Shein Dam Yadun. If you have Meiser Sheni and you know how much it's worth, Podin also Bishlosha Lekuchos. So it's interesting. You don't need three rabbis to come and evaluate this. Even 3 buyers, people who know the market well, can also be one of the three. Avalo b'shlosha she'ein lekuchos. But you have to have three lekuchos. Sounds like lekuchos, the buyers, are the ones that really they really knew the market well. 1 second. Yeah, like businessmen, people. Lekuchos means people that do business, buyers and sellers. They trade. Traders, a classic business guy who's always buying and selling products. So they could be on your bezdin also, because they know the produce well and they know how much things cost. Even even if there's a non-Jew there, it's fine. Even if one of the guys is the owner of the produce, but if he knows his stuff, he knows the market well, he can also be one of the three. Okay. Now, let's say you have three people that are partners in a business, right? And now, can they three together be on the same bezdin in terms of evaluating how much things are worth? Mahu, what's the halacha? Can they do you view them as one guy, or they can all three comprise their own bezdin? They might have a vested interest because they're all in one business. They all share one business account. So now, Tashma ish v'shtei nashal. Okay, so a guy married to two women. Podin meiser sheni. One can redeem meiser sheni. She'ein dam doing. If the value is not known, even one guy and two wives, if they know the market, they can be the bezdin, even though all their money is going to one place, the husband's bank account. So you see that even if you share one bank account, you could still be judges for this case. So we say, no, not so fast. Dilma could go Rav Papa ubas Abba Sura. Sounds like Rav Papa was married to Bas Abba Sura. She was Rav Papa's wife, and she was totally self-sufficient. And so maybe the Bryce or the two wives, could be on the bezdin to evaluate Meister Sheni, was where they're also self-sufficient, and therefore you don't have any proof that three people that share a bank account can together judge a case of Meiser that is not known. Okay, let's see. So now, I guess we'll start the next one. Yeah, we'll get to the bottom. Okay, so now, our Mishnah told us by hekdeshos that when you're coming to evaluate property that belongs to hekdesh, how much it's worth. When you want to evaluate how much it's worth, that needs three people. So on that we say our Mishnah is now at the following brisa. Same person as before, the Tanya. The Tanya, Rabbi Omer. Sorry, Rabbi the Tanya, Rabbi ben Yaakov Omer. Rabbi Eliezer, the son of Yaakov, says, "Afilu tzinura shel hekdesh, tzricha asara bnei adam." Even a small little fork that belongs to hekdesh, you need 10 people. Why? Livdosa, to redeem it. So you want to redeem it and find out its value, you need 10 people and not 3 people. So now, what's the reason that we need 3 people? I'm going to Papa Labaye. Bish Lamar Blazer ben Yaakov, I understand why you need 10 people. The Amar Kishmuel. He says like Shmuel, the Amar Shmuel. Asar Kohanim Sub Parsha. In the whole Parsha of redeeming Hekdesh, it says the word Kohen 10 times. By redeeming Hekdesh, it says it 3 times by evaluating, 3 times by redeeming an animal that's a Hekdesh, and 4 times by land. By evaluating land, it says Kohen 10 times there. So then we learn that it sounds like you need 10 people for Hekdesh. That I understand, he says, because you hold like Shmuel, and it says Kohanim 10 times. Yeah. Okay. So that we understand. But why does our Mishnah say only 3 people? So El Rabbanan Shlosha Minalu, how you know 3 people? Shlosha. Maybe you'll tell me that it's because it says Kohen 3 times, but then by the parsha of the fields, we want to evaluate the fields. There, Karkos, that Sibahu Arba, Tiskiba Arba, you should only have 4 people and not more. It says Kohen 4 times there. You should have 4 people. So maybe you'll say, maybe you're right. Maybe we should have only 4 people. What's the problem? Alamatana Karkos of Hektish that are being redeemed. So what do? You need 9 people and 1 Kohen. So it sounds like you need 9 people and 1 Kohen because that's 10 and not 4. It sounds like you do take into consideration the fact that it says Kohen 10 times in the parsha teaches you that you have to have 10 people to evaluate all this hektish before you redeem it. So why does our Mishnah only mention 3? Elamai dimishami b'asara. Elamai dimishami b'hu. What do you have to say? How do you get 10? Dimishami b'hu asara hekteshos. So you have to say that even though it says only 4 times hektish, it says Kohen 4 times in the parsha in the section about redeeming land that's holy, but you get 10. Why? Because it says 6 times in other areas of redeeming hektish, it's Kohen 6 times. That gets you 10. So says the Gemara. So at least for our case, where let's say it's not talking about field, you should at least need maybe 6 people. It says it 6 times. At least take that. How'd you get 3? Either have 10, that makes sense, or if it only says the word Kohen 6 times in the areas where we're redeeming Kodesh, which is not land, so then you should have 6 judges, not 3. How'd you get 3? On that, the Gemara says Kasha, and we'll continue in the second to last line tomorrow. I think it's the same time, but it might be January 1st tomorrow, so it's different. So I'll post on the chat what time davening is tomorrow.
Yes,
so thank you. Have a great day and a happy Hanukkah.